Here we go. Cooper Weidenthaler with Davenport Athletics, and I'm joined by the head coach of the men's and women's swimming and diving programs, Justin Vasquez. Coach, I'll get the tough one out of the way. Your assistant, Don Kimble, really recently lost his battle with cancer at the age of 60, but he left quite a legacy behind, especially at the high school level. Just talk about what Don meant to you and meant to the program. He was only with it for one season, but had been coaching for a long time. And someone you were close with. Just talk about him real quick.
Yeah, so, I knew Don for about 17 years or so. I swam with his son, Dan, in college, and so that's kind of how we got introduced. Dan and I would go coach for Don in the summertime while we were swimming in college, and so we'd go coach for Don, and then we'd swim for him too. And so Don shaped a lot of people's lives in the sport of swimming, and he helped me, look at the sport in a certain way, and not as just an athlete, but as a mentor. When I was coaching, I talked with him quite a bit, and so having the ability to bring him on toward the end of his career and kind of just let him do what he loved to do, which was coaching, was kind of a no-brainer when everything kind of just fell in place. And so, Jan told me quite often during the season and during, everything else going on the last few months, that he had, as much fun or more fun than he's ever had doing the sport. And so, that's a testament to the love that he had for our athletes and our program already in year one. And so, we had a lot of good plans, trying to build this thing together, but that won't go away. Wherever he goes, he left an impression, and that's just because he cared a lot about his athletes. He cared about the sport, and he worked really hard at doing everything that he did. And so, as a team, we talk about, the best way to honor your athletes or your teammates is with your effort, every day. And so, we had some meetings here with the captains, and we talked about, the best way for us to honor Don and everything that he's taught us is by living the way that he would want us to do, and going through with the life lessons that he taught us, doing that every day. And so that's what we're going to do. He was very important to us, and he had a big group last year, and they all loved him, and he's going to be missed, but we'll never forget him for sure.
Absolutely. Well said. So with that, this thing rolls on with you and your assistants. Women's program, year 3 coming up, kind of hard to believe. You've already got a couple years under your belt, and then also exciting your men's program, inaugural season, their first year coming up. So big things for Davenport swimming and diving. Just talk about kind of where each program is at right now, obviously kind of at different points in their development.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, that went by fast. We're already on year 3. These girls that we brought in as freshmen, our first team, we had 9 people, and 2 of them were divers and 7 of them were swimmers. And they're already juniors here, and they kind of, the cool thing is they went through some ups and downs early on as freshmen. They got thrown into everything, without having any older groups kind of helping them, find their way and kind of lead them. And so that group has turned into some really good leaders, and even the team that we had, the group we had last year, that will be sophomores, same kind of thing. And so I'm really excited about the women's team. We are definitely going in the right direction. We were pretty dang competitive last year, and we're going to keep getting better. And so, it's exciting time. We added a few more bodies, that are going to help us right away. And so it's going to be fun. We're definitely going in the direction that we want to go in. So that's exciting. With the men's team, I think we might even be a year ahead of what the women were. I think we might be closer to what, our women looked like last year in year 2. We have 18 bodies, and so we should be pretty decent right away. We recruited a little bit different with them. It was a little bit easier, I think, to get some people on campus because we had a women's team. And so that was nice. We had some guys training with us last year. So even though they didn't get to compete at the college level, they were with us the entire year, watching the women compete and traveling with the women sometimes to the meets to cheer them on. And so they got a good taste of what it takes to be a college male swimmer or diver. And so we have a few of those men. Brought in a transfer at semester last year that trained with us. He had a year of college swimming under his belt. And then we were bringing in 3 other transfers. So we have some experience coming in. So that's going to be what's different than what it was when we started the women's team. So we have 18 bodies. We will have probably a third of the men have college experience. So I think that's going to help boost them right away as far as understanding, what it takes as far as training every day and what it takes to compete and race every day. It's definitely different than high school. A lot of our good guys coming in or good women coming in, they don't necessarily have to put all effort in every race at the high school level and college, and especially some in the GLIAC. That's something you have to do. You can't really take effort off in a race. So it's an exciting time. Our team is basically doubled every year. And so, we're bringing in, we're going to be in the mid 40s or so. So we're bringing another 20 athletes or so in. And so, it makes it fun. Training groups get a little bit larger, which makes it fun when we're doing some hard stuff. Cheering at the meets is a little bit more exciting. You have more people supporting you, which always helps out. And so it's a good time right now.
I think for that men's program, it's always nice to have an infusion of transfer talent because they've been swimming at the college level. But going back to when you started the women's program, when you bring in freshmen, I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, because by the time they become juniors and seniors, they've seen this thing grow and they've seen this thing start, and they know where it began and they know where they want to get it to. So I think there's positives both bringing in college kids and bringing in high school kids. I mean, the high school kids can really see what happens when they try and get it to where they want it to be.
Yeah, it's worked out well. It's been great. Like I said, the leadership of this group that was here at the very beginning at the that small team, and then to see it go from 9 to 40 plus. That's part of the cool thing about being part of a new program. It's one of the things I tell the kids recruiting. You don't get to, every program that you visit, there's only, this option here where you get to start traditions and the expectations and the standards and everything. And so that's part of being a new program, and it's exciting. And absolutely, we have freshmen that grown into great leaders, and then we're bringing in some. And so it should be a good mix, and it should be a good year.
So recruiting wise, touched on it already a little bit, but obviously there's a higher premium on filling that men's team up and getting some male athletes. But every year you're trying to get male and female now. So just speak about, the incoming classes for both and what recruiting has been like here in this quarantine time. Last 3 or so months, obviously haven't been really able to do much as far as getting out and traveling and seeing kids, but explain what the process has been like, how it's been different.
Yeah. So, we had to bring in a lot more males than females this year to kind of get the numbers up for the men's team. And that worked out well. I think we've reached the goal of where we wanted to be with each team. So I'm pleased with that. Some really good kids academically, athletically coming in. So should fit the team well with what we try to accomplish here. As far as recruiting during quarantine, it's definitely been different. I've been sending more videos out and almost recruiting local Michigan kids or Midwest kids the way that I would recruit the international kids, sending them as much and visual information that I can. And so, we have a group of people just waiting for us to start, being able to bring people back on campus and showing them around and meeting the team. And so we're just kind of waiting for that, but keeping communication going. And as soon as that opens up, we'll have a group of people coming in. And so we'll be ready to do that.
Absolutely. Well, Coach, that's all I got for you. Thanks for taking the time to talk. I'm ready for all this to kind of end and everything can be normal again and we can be on campus. I want to see everybody again. I want to see all you coaches. these one-on-one Google Meet interviews don't really don't really satisfy what I like to do with my jobs. So, but yeah, I appreciate it. I hope everything's going all right with you and the family.
For sure. Thanks. You too. Miss you too, Cooper. Can't wait to get back to the office and listen to you guys joke around. We'll see you soon, man.